Thanks for joining us today for BRMC's Healthy Connections with our guest Deb Way. And we're going to be talking about the Acute Inpatient Rehabilitation Center that's located on the 3rd floor at 3 East right in the hospital. So Miss Deb, you've got cool stuff you brought with you today. What do you got?
I do. You know, when you're talking about helping an individual regain their independence, sometimes we have to do things slightly different.
Right.
You still are independent, but you have to have something help you. And since we're celebrating our 15 years of service, I thought it would be really good to do a show just about some of our basic stuff. Like if I want to take my shoe off and I can't bend over, I take it off like that. I want to take my sock off.
Oh my.
So I'm going to put my dressing stick at my heel.
Your dressing stick.
And push it forward.
Oh, how wonderful.
And then in comes someone and says, "Oh, Deb, why did you take your shoes off? We need to get ready to go." Okay? So it's like, "Oh, give me a minute." So I get my sock aid, but I still can't reach my sock. So then I grab my reacher.
Oh my goodness.
And I bring my sock to me.
Pretty cool.
And you turn this into your stomach, and if you have only one hand, you can also do this one-handed. I put it between my legs, and it's a little more difficult because I got to catch it. And if I have had a stroke, I can use one hand to be my stabilizer. This will take a minute to prop your hand there.
All right.
And then, whoop, it turns, but not to worry.
You got it.
And then you push it up. And a lot of times when you're doing this, you know, and I do it with my patients because I want them to know, no, this is not easy.
Right. So with it,
this is something we have to work at.
Yep.
I want to make sure that the heel of my sock is to the back.
Okay. So tube socks are probably the best?
Yes.
Kind of.
You want to stretch your sock. You put this down, and if you can use both your hands, you're going to grab the pulls and do it this way.
All right.
If you can't, you're going to grab them this way. You want to pull and point your toes. Let me just wiggle that a little bit. Ugh. Here we go.
And this is all part of what your patients are learning. Oh my goodness! Yay!
It is. And the reason that
and that's a huge accomplishment for somebody that's had a stroke.
Yes.
I mean, that's amazing.
You know, because when you go home and say your spouse is going to be your caregiver, being a caregiver is, I think, something that everyone does in their life, and you do it out of love and respect for your partner, your mate, whatever.
You bet.
But you do this, but it weighs on you. It takes its toll because you're in a giving mode a lot of the time. So things as simple as this reduce the caregiver's involvement.
But also builds the esteem of the patient to say, I'm not a complete burden on my loved one.
And you know,
there are things I can do myself.
There is. And believe it or not, people look at this stuff and they think, well, this is wonderful. But really, on a scale from 1 to 10, how important is this? Well, on a scale of 1 to 10 for me, being independent, it's like
huge.
It's 10.
Yeah.
You know, it's 10. Because I would like to know that I could be independent, because independence brings quality to anyone.
And how nice to be able to say to your spouse, for instance, if it's a husband that's had a stroke or loved one that's had a stroke, you know, honey, you go ahead and do whatever you're doing, make breakfast, do up the dishes, feed the pets, whatever. I'll get myself dressed.
Right.
So, and with the right tools.
This takes a little longer to use it, and the more you use it, the more proficient you become with it. But this will make you independent in dressing. And to me, that is wonderful.
That's huge.
It is.
Huge.
And this is something that I brought to show people. You know, lots of times you'll see people that have had strokes or they have neurological issues, and when they go to push off to walk, like heel toe, the toes won't push and they'll just kind of slap the floor. That becomes a huge, huge risk for falling.
They're the center of balance, or your big toe is your...
So this is what we use, and this is called an AFO, and it's a medium. Ooh, I probably could have used a large.
Yeah.
Well, didn't Didn't measure this
feet
one
have grown and you just didn't,
But I can put this right across here to hold it.
Okay.
And I'm going to open this shoe as much as I can because this does require a wide base to get your foot and your AFO in. And sometimes you actually have to buy a bigger size shoe. So I'm going to walk it forward. Try to get my toes going. See the heel, because my foot's not flat, it's not going to hold.
Okay.
Oh, let's see.
Okay.
Well, it's not going to work in there like I thought it would. Let me see if I put this further down on my leg. See if I can stop that wiggle room there.
I think you got it.
Yes.
You got it.
Let's turn that like so.
So much of this is going to be a little bit of trial and error.
It is.
What's going to work.
One of the things that I can tell you is preventing me from getting this on is the shoe. I would have to probably get a bigger shoe.
Yeah.
But the beauty of this that I wanted everyone to be able to see is this actually supports the foot. So when you walk, it rocks.
It rocks you. Oh, okay.
So it will prevent the foot drop from occurring so pronounced.
Right. And boy, like you say, that would be the time you'd have a fall because you're not getting over whatever obstacle might be there.
This is one that we refer to as off the shelf. I stock a variety of AFOs that are just off the shelf. They're not specialized in any way. And I can use these on patients at will that need them, and then they can go home with it. Now, if you need a very specialized one, like diabetics, or there's been some trauma to the foot, or you have a different kind of weakness than an over-the-counter would do, we'll then bring in Snell or JP&O, and they will fix one that is custom to you.
Okay.
And when they do the customs, as well as with these, you'll have to get a bigger shoe than what you normally wear, because I want to show you when this goes down in my shoe like so.
Right.
That takes up a lot of room.
It sure does.
Now, my foot bends and flexes in a way that other people wouldn't. Now, this shoe normally feels really good on my foot, but it's a little snugger now with this in it. But this would prevent my toes from dropping.
Dropping down. Okay.
Prevents falls.
Just better balance all the way around.
It does. And it also, it helps with the fatigue to a weaker muscle group. This will help you so you can actually you can walk a little further, or you can feel a little more confident in what you